Well, Donald Trump's announcement on trans soldiers certainly set the tone for this week, and that tone is unnecessary cruelty. The Department of Justice just filed a new brief arguing that civil rights laws don't cover LGBT people, and Republicans in Texas are pushing a bill to prevent trans people from using the bathroom. Again. Let's get into it on another Weekly Debrief. Trump's announcement that he doesn't want trans people to serve in the military seemed to come out of nowhere, but it wasn't a total surprise. This administration's been dismantling LGBT protections for months, from ending equal access to education to trying to overturn the life-saving provisions of the Affordable Care Act. The only thing unusual about Wednesday's tweets is how much further they go than anyone expected. A week ago, Republicans were just trying to get the government to stop paying for trans soldiers' medical care. No one was saying they should be thrown out of the Army altogether. But here we are. We have no idea how, when, or even if the ban is going to be implemented, but the White House insists they're going to make it happen. I just published a new video about why the ban hurts military readiness, what it's really about, and what you can do to push back. You can find that on my YouTube channel. But while we're dealing with this latest disaster, it's important not to lose sight of other things that are going on. On the same day as Trump's tweet, the Department of Justice filed a new brief defending the practice of firing people for their sexual orientation. This is yet another case of the administration being harsher to LGBTs than anyone expected. The case involves a skydiving instructor who says he was fired after his bosses found out he was gay, and it's an important test case because it's still unsettled whether federal law that prohibits discrimination based on gender also prohibits discrimination based on sexual orientation. Some courts have said yes, other courts have said no. Now the Department of Justice has stepped into the case, even though they're not involved. They didn't have to weigh in. Nevertheless, they went out of their way to file a brief saying that it's just fine to fire someone for being gay. If the court listens to them, it could endanger the lives of queer people all over the country. It's another heroic act from the administration that claims to be a friend to the gays. And we have more unnecessary cruelty in Texas, where lawmakers are pushing a bill to ban trans people from using the bathroom. Just passed the legislature 21-10, with Republicans arguing that trans people are a threat to privacy and safety. That's despite multiple law enforcement agencies urging them to vote against the bill because it would encourage violence. The bill's already failed once in a regular session, but lawmakers called a special session so they could bring it back and try again. They didn't have to do that, but they did. What all of these campaigns have in common is that none of them will actually benefit anyone aside from the politicians pushing them. They don't exist to help the military or businesses or public safety. They exist to single queer people out as different. The enemy. And to what end? Well, it's not to improve anyone's life. It's simply to advance the careers of politicians who demonize queer people. It's selfish, it's cynical, it hurts people. So, what can you do about it? Well, there's actions you can take immediately, in the short term, and in the long term. Right now, stay informed by following experts like the National Center for Trans Equality. In the short term, start a conversation about what's happening and why it's not okay. And in the long term, keep that conversation going into the 2018 election so that we can get the worst politicians out of office. For more actions you can take, check out the video that I just posted about the trans bathroom ban. I've got lots more info in there and next steps that you can take. You might feel powerless in the face of all this cruelty, but don't worry. You're not powerless. There are things that you can do. We're all in this together. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments on YouTube and at Matt Baum on Twitter. I'm headed to London next week for the 9 Worlds Conference, so keep an eye out for me there, and I'll debrief you next week.